Welcome to Guru. That's Gooroo.
We're your hosts. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Jeff. And today we're going to talk about
Whatever we feel like. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing today?
Hey, Kyle.
Did you have a good week?
Fabulous week.
Good. Also, we're joined today by my good friend Alison, who is she gets to do some really cool stuff in West Hollywood. She has a cool job. So it's myself, Kyle, again, Jeff, and Alison here. And where are we, Jeff?
We're in Hollywood at the International Association of Culinary Professionals. It's a big event at the Lowe's Hotel, and they're covering all kinds of things, such as the Cuisinart is the big sponsor here. So there's lots of Cuisinart
sample cups,
foods, and then there's all kinds of things like I don't know, Kyle.
There's knives. I see knives and different pictures and cool stuff.
Yeah, so anyway.
Foodies are probably nearby.
We're probably going to be talking about food a little bit today.
I like food.
I like food too, If you could have one meal, right, that you were going to eat every day, once a day. There's only once a day, but you had to eat that item every day from now on. Is there an item that you would be excited about?
Alison, go.
Probably somen, which is this Japanese wheat noodle that's so good. It's served cold with soy sauce. I love it.
It's just what is it? Like a fat wide noodle, or is it more like ramen?
Super thin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's served cold. I could eat that for breakfast.
Cooking time is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You put that with some canned mushrooms, you're good to go.
You like the mushrooms?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't like the mushrooms.
No, they're really good. I like
Interesting.
them.
I don't know. For me, is health involved in this, or we just
No, just whatever you
forsaking
want.
that?
Whatever you want.
Oh my gosh, probably ice cream.
Every day.
I could do it.
What ice cream?
Any flavor except, I'm not a huge well, I'm trying to think of an ice cream I don't like.
So, do you sit down and eat one of those Ben & Jerry size ones?
Cookie dough. I don't really care. I know cookie dough is pretty good, but I don't like it's off-putting for me to have the texture of ice cream with the hard dough
I
bits.
understand. So, those Ben & Jerry size ones, is that the size you would sit down and eat in one sitting?
Could eat
2 of those?
maybe not 2, but
a half gallon?
probably.
Wow, really?
I can put it away. I really can.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. I take mine back.
Uh-oh.
You can add a second one.
No. Okay, I'll have a second one. Have you ever been to there's one in Pasadena. It's called, I think, 800 degrees or something. It's these
The
Asian
brick oven
sticky,
pizza?
No, 80 degrees. I think it's called 80
Oh, yeah,
degrees.
yeah.
It's these sticky buns, sweet buns.
Oh.
They're Asian, and they have fillings
Steamed
inside.
things.
And, oh my god.
Like when we went to the restaurant that one time?
No, they're dessert.
Oh,
buns.
okay.
They're
Yeah, sticky buns.
they're
Yeah,
amazing.
with meat in them
Hot
and stuff?
stickers.
No,
Like pot stickers?
No, I'm talking about dessert pastries.
Oh, okay.
But they're kind of sticky on the outside.
Yeah.
That gooiness is good, like mochi.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
I would do
What about you?
sushi.
Sushi.
When I lived in Japan, I pretty much had it every day.
Oh my gosh. Do you gravitate towards the tempura ones, or full on yellowtail eel?
Well, when I was in Japan, they have, in English it would be translated into conveyor belt sushi.
That's literally the translation of the word.
Yeah, kisaten it's conveyor belt sushi. So you have these mini conveyor belts. They're maybe 3-4 inches wide, and it's in a circle, right? So all the seating is a circle, and the chefs are in the middle of the circle, and they're making the fish. And as they make it, they put it on the conveyor belt, and it goes around the restaurant. And so you're sitting down, and you can take the food that you want off of the conveyor belt, eat it. And each plate is a different color, and each color is a different price. So when you see your plate how much it is. And so they have all the plates on the wall and the prices. And so at the end, when you're done, one of the staff members comes up, counts up your plates and colors, and then you have your bill. And so It's not like as high end or anything.
It's just you can get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's a good deal. You go in. It's usually a quick meal. You just go in and eat. You know, I would usually eat like maybe 5 to 7 plates, and then you would leave.
It sounds like a lot when you say 5 to 7
Now,
plates.
each plate is 2 pieces of sushi, so
okay.
I would eat, 10 or so.
Were they like the bigger pieces than they are here? Or it's
They are really nicely cut. Like, if you would get crab, it wouldn't be that artificial crab. The claw would be on it. If you get a piece of salmon, it's going to be salmon on the plate. It goes over the rice and then back onto the plate. It's not these small cuts where,
fits nicely.
it just sits on top of the rice and yeah.
Interesting.
How often did you eat sushi when you lived in Japan?
I ate it probably like 4 to 5 times a week.
Oh my gosh. To me, that sounds like a lot. I guess
The food, it's like some burger and fries here.
Right.
You know? It's interesting.
I mean, I would usually go for lunch each day during the week, or maybe one night on the weekend.
Did you ever venture out and make it yourself?
No, but the fish quality in Japan is so high that you can buy sashimi at the grocery store. So I would buy sashimi at the grocery store. Sashimi is just basically the cut fish without the rice. So I would just buy that fish and then maybe a side of veggies or something like a rice ball and eat it at home,
That's cool. I can't imagine going to the grocery store, like going to Ralph's here and buying raw fish.
Well, it's their culture. The fish is the culture. Remember, it's an island country. It's not like America. So it's an island country surrounded by ocean. It's a narrow piece of land. It's very long, like California. It's a narrow piece of land. So there's a lot of access to water, and it's part of the culture. The fish is a staple food, and so it's very high end. It's really good quality.
I love it.
Now they do have 100 yen, which is about $1. 100 yen sushi restaurants.
100 yen? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's about $100. I mean, it's about $1.
Okay.
Right now the ratio is about 112 yen to $1, but that's a little high on the yen. It should be about 100 to $1. So you go in. The cuts are a lot smaller on the fish because it's $1, but it's the same sort of conveyor belt system. But you're gonna spend a lot less. You might spend, I don't know, $6. I mean, here's the thing: you can get amazing quality sushi and spend $10. Whereas here, you're looking at
20 plus.
Yeah, 45, 50. I mean, it's really, But at the same time, I would sometimes.
I could hear your shoes squeak. That's interesting.
Sometimes I would break out and get a hamburger and fries. The tiniest little patty, expensive.
The crime against humanity.
Yeah.
No way.
It's like switched. Like here, it's like sushi's this fine dining sort of thing, and then burgers and fries is like a weekend chill spot.
Well, because they don't really have much land available in Japan, and so to have all the cattle and all the stuff, it's a lot harder for them to make a burger patty than to catch a fish since they're surrounded by ocean.
Interesting. That's cool.
Hopefully that's true. No Japanese listeners will critiquing me.
I didn't even know they had the Cuisinart hospital.
Well, that's why I was saying the Cuisinart at the beginning.
Yeah,
it's the sponsor. It's on everyone's name badge. They're making sample food.
So I've ventured out lately to cooking different things. I grew up. My mom was a great cook. Like, she studied it in school. It wasn't like culinary school, but she studied she was a home economics major, and so like sewing. She went into the sanitation field, and so like all public public pools, public restaurants, anything health related to the public she was involved with. And so, let's just say growing up, we never ate at the gross restaurants in town because she'd always have to inspect all the kitchens and all of them. So we always knew where to eat, so that was nice. But, and it also helped with like that one time in high school, I thought I got food poisoning from Taco Bell. And she was like, it's impossible to get food poisoning from Taco Bell. And I'm like, what? How was that? And she's like, begins to explain that everything in Taco Bell comes already cooked. Like it's just they warm it up and put it together and give it to you. So if there's food poisoning, there's either like gross negligence with the handling of things, like it's like terribly like someone went to the restroom and had a situation and did not do anything to clean their hands. Like it would have to be something of that magnitude. You know, even though they were gloves, it would have to be something of that level instead of like the wrong utensil didn't get washed.
This is not selling me on Taco Bell.
I don't think it should. It shouldn't. I'm just saying that things like that growing up, I was always aware of more than most people because of the fact that
you seem like a guy who's a master cook. You're so like people friendly, hospitality.
Well, but like, so I grew up like, you know, in my household. Hey. Mom and Dad worked both full-time jobs, so my sister and I like, hey, you need to have this ready when we get there. Like, you need to start cooking this. Like, go ahead and pull this meat out and be like, so like, cooking is just something that's like was part of growing up. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily. I grew up with Martha Stewart, or you know, that we could have the pioneer woman in our kitchen. But lately, I've been paying more attention to like the ingredients and how they. How good the ingredients are, and not necessarily concerned with like making casseroles and like heavy cooking, just like simple but like small. Like for example, I have been making these gluten-free pancakes. It's my latest kick, and it's just like, you know, 3 ingredients is all they are. They're healthy for you, but you don't miss.
What's in it?
You got cottage cheese, steel cut oats, and then egg whites. Blend them up, and then you
put them in a blender?
And like my Ninja. I have a Ninja. I don't have like a full-on.
And then you just pour that in the pan with some olive oil?
I put a little bit of coconut oil. Or olive oil. I tend to just use olive oil because it's easier.
What does the cottage cheese do?
It gives it thickens it. It helps bind the oats.
So you do cottage cheese, oatmeal, and eggs?
Well, not oatmeal, steel cut oats. I mean, yes, I use steel cut oats for oatmeal, but technically, if someone's listening, like oatmeal, like it's not the quicker oatmeal, quick packs where they just add water with the flavoring.
And
it's
then
just steel cut oats.
You do egg whites? Mm-hmm. Do you buy a jar of egg whites?
No, that's what I was gonna say is that I use regular eggs and I crack it. And
what
then
about your yolks? You don't eat yolks?
I save those for an omelet that I eat with it. So I mix up because it takes about 3 eggs, because I do a cup of cottage cheese, a cup of steel cut oats, and then 3/4 of a cup of egg whites, and that's about 3 eggs. And I take those 3 yolks, I scramble them with a little bit, break up some spinach leaves, and make like a little. So I'm like, pancakes. I don't know.
Do you salt and pepper your oatmeal? Your omelet?
My oatmeal. Yeah.
Some people salt their oatmeal.
Really?
Yeah.
My
and their watermelon.
I do that too. Yes, you should. I think you should.
My stepdad used to make steel cutouts and put like hot sauce in it, Tabasco sauce.
Really?
Yeah. And it would be like a.
I don't know about that.
He would eat it in the morning.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard for me to. For some reason, I like oatmeal, like maybe with honey, cinnamon.
Yeah.
But I will not discount that because I haven't tried it, so I can't say that it's not.
My family had this weird thing with mustard. Like they would make we'd make Frito chili pies, and they would put mustard on the top. And growing up, I hated mustard. Do not put mustard on my hot dog. Do not put mustard on my hamburger. Like if it was in something, I wouldn't necessarily not eat it. But mustard was just like, ugh, I didn't like it because it was sour. I didn't like sour. Mm-hmm. But I tried it on my Frito chili pie, and it changed.
Really?
Like it takes a Frito chili pie like it's.
What is a Frito chili pie?
Like Fritos with on the bottom, like nachos, but like Frito chips with chili of some sort. Hopefully homemade, not out of a can. And then cheese, shredded cheese on top, and then it's warm.
I like how you build up the chili quality on Fritos.
But I'm just saying, like, the taste of like just canned chili is like.
Pork belly.
Oh gosh, that's dog food. It's dog food.
Pretty much,
It's just a different label.
True.
It's true.
So Fritos,
And it's more expensive.
chili, and cheese. And is it in a bowl?
Yeah.
And are you eating it like with the Frito in your hand, like
no,
a dip?
you like
Spoon.
stir it all up together. That's how I eat
Do
it.
you
I could eat that right now.
No, you just have the chips in a bag, and then you have the chili hot, and then the cheese in a bag. And so like you just assemble it as you make it the size you want, and the ratio of chip to chili, like it's like one of those things.
You guys are really good at cooking.
Yeah.
I
Allison,
haven't personally. I don't think I've ever tried it.
Allison, didn't you say that you made some chili last week?
Yeah, I did.
Ooh,
Can you
did
tell
it?
us
Is it
about that?
spicy?
Hot chili. Not really that spicy, but the secret ingredient to that was cooking it for like 7 or 8 hours. We made it with turkey,
Okay.
brown turkey, which can get really
All right, break
tough.
down how you made it and what's in it.
Okay, so I browned the turkey, brown turkey, and then
By doing what? I mean, for people that are listening, walk us through how you make it.
Okay, if you want the in-depth details,
I got it
I
out of the
took the
cupboard.
turkey out of the package and dried it with a paper towel so it could brown better. As Julia Child says, your meat won't brown until you dry it out. And
I
so
love it.
I put it in the pan and then brown it. Don't let it cook all of the way so it doesn't get rubbery and seal the meat. And then I take some beans, usually like a couple of cans of kidney beans, some fire roasted tomatoes with the juice. Throw it in there, put cocoa powder, which makes it doesn't sound like it would
Cocoa?
be very good.
Yeah.
Cocoa
Chocolate?
powder. Yeah,
Yeah.
cocoa powder. The unsweetened, like pure
Right.
cocoa.
Just cocoa.
Interesting.
Then cinnamon. I put chili powder, cumin, salt and pepper, a little bit of oil, and then I let it basically cook.
And beans, right?
Yeah, she said the kidney
Oh,
beans.
okay.
Basically kidney and black. I put it in. Then let it cook for like 8 hours, 7-8 hours.
I bet that smelled so good.
It's so good.
I was gonna say there's this chain in the Upper Midwest in Ohio area called Skyline,
Yeah.
which it's like a restaurant, it's like a chain, but they have a can of the chili that you can buy in the stores locally there, and that's the secret ingredient to theirs is they put it's chocolate and cinnamon, and it's interesting how the savory of the chili with the cocoa and the cinnamon really it's crazy.
All right, give another
I know.
example, Allison, of something you've made recently with the slow cook method.
I've been on the slow cookers recently because I'm not very skilled at cooking at all. So I'm learning. I'm not even at a beginner level.
Whatever.
And so I just use the slow cookers because I have less of a chance of screwing something up. I can just literally put it in there and it'll cook by itself. So I cooked General Tso's chicken this last time in
Nice.
there. And I basically just like cut up chicken breast, browned it, put it in there, and then put like honey and vinegar, which I didn't think would go in there, and then cornstarch and like some other stuff, soy sauce and ginger. And it turned out really good.
Did you have like rice with it or whatever? Or just...
Yeah, we did. We used it. I try to do like the chili and the chicken so we can pair it up with something we already have, like rice, which makes it so much more affordable than if like we have to buy another ingredient to use with it on the side.
Yeah.
So it turned out pretty
I kind of spiced my cereal up. Let me give you a breakdown of my cereal, okay? I'll tell you the one I had this morning, okay?
Okay.
Not some isolated event.
good.
First, I put in Cheerios. Then, I put in oats, raw oats.
Okay.
Then, I put in ground flax seeds, which you can do in your NutriBullet that you have. Ninja, whatever. So you put the flax seeds, cinnamon, honey, pumpkin seeds,
Wow.
then raisins on top, and then milk or whatever you like, almond milk. It's hearty, healthy,
Yeah,
you know.
the pumpkin seeds. I like that addition because there's like that. It's like a salty flavor. Is
Yeah.
It say, like,
And you get a little veggie nutrients, you know.
Are seeds a vegetable?
Well, seeds are in fruit, first of all. They're not in vegetables. Seeds don't.
Oh.
Vegetables don't have
That's
seeds.
right.
That is a very good point.
Think about it. Even somewhere in the Bible it says fruit bearing seeds.
That's true because let me think of a vegetable I like squash and cucumber. Like, how do they get those? How do they get those? How do you plant those?
Well,
This is interesting. I'm gonna have to look into this.
well,
It's intriguing.
so
Is that why tomato is considered a fruit? Because it has a seed inside of it?
yes, avocado, cucumber,
Okay.
yeah.
Like a carrot doesn't have a
It's
seed
true.
inside of it.
It's the. You
It's
take
kinda
the
like
head, you take the.
Or a potato.
It's like the difference in like a root and like a plant, kind of, like a tree.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
like a pumpkin's a fruit.
Right, because
Yeah.
you're saying because the pumpkin seed.
Yeah.
You want something new? Here, I'll give you.
Well, if you talk about having a fruitful life or bearing fruit, we're talking about like planting seeds.
Yeah,
Like
you don't say I have
Yeah.
a veggie life.
no. Well, you
I
can
have
no.
a very veggie
No,
life.
a veggie life is a lazy life. There's no
Oh,
seeds.
he's just a vegetable.
Oh
There's
my
no-
gosh!
I never thought
You're
about that.
right.
There's no
I didn't
seeds
think
that
of
are planted. So, like, if you say to someone like, "Wow, Bill, you're really great at baseball. You're gonna be like a pro one day, right?" You're planting seeds in him that he's gonna be a great player. You're bearing fruit, right?
Yeah.
Veggie would be like, Bill, you're so freaking lazy, man. You just sit around playing video games all the time, right?
You're a couch potato.
Veggie,
Yeah.
he's
You're a
lazy.
vegetable.
Seeds, fruit, productive, fruitful life.
Wow.
That is so cool. I never
Wow.
thought. That's amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
So have you ever has there ever been anything that you've like eaten or cooked with that it was an ingredient like that was weird to you? For example, I'm thinking of like when people said there's lavender and stuff, like there's lavender ice cream or like things like that with different flowers and stuff like that. Like this,
I had a lavender ice cream
Yeah, we had some.
recently.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
I had no idea. Was it good?
Yeah.
I've only heard about
Like
lavender.
in the ice cream section now, especially at some of these grocery stores that are a little more high end, like a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods type of place.
Mhm.
You know, you can get some really high end ice cream.
Flavors. Yeah.
And yeah, so I got a lavender, and it was good. I mean, it was too expensive to get regularly, but
Splurge.
yeah.
When I was in Peru, they had, in the middle of the mountains, they had gelato. And with these crazy flavors. There was like beer gelato and all these interesting
Dude,
flavors.
actually, real, true Italian made gelato is so good. The slow process, the churning, so good. They put real fruit in it, you know.
It comes out almost like not a custard, but
I saw that NutriBullet has a product that's called the dessert bullet, and you take frozen fruit, okay, like say for instance banana, or not. Well, that's not frozen.
Strawberries.
Yeah,
Advanced
strawberries, cherries. You put it in the top, and you turn it like this, and then it comes out as this sorbet. You could put like cocoa chips and
Kind of like, have you guys heard about people eating those acai berry bowls or whatever? Those
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Acai bowls, whatever.
yeah.
They're like, it's basically like, that's the base for it, is these acai berries. ACAI is how
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
spelled, but
Uh-huh.
I always, because I'm one of those people that like, I see the word in my head, and so I visualize the word, and then I sometimes say it wrong because I'm visualizing how it's spelled instead of how it's supposed to sound.
Right.
But acai bowls, and so they take these berries and like it's kind of like, so like they eat them like it's like, I thought it was a dessert. Like a friend of mine was eating it. I'm like, what is this?
Acai.
Wow, that's so loud.
So that's how you pronounce it.
Acai. Okay,
Acai.
good.
Sorry, that was so loud. Let me back up a little.
acai.
Acai.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Acai.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I saw that this infomercial, I don't know if it was an official infomercial, for the dessert bullet with that David Wolf guy. He's that organic.
He's a superfood machine.
Yeah, he's like that really authority in organic food and
Yeah,
natural foods. Doing it, I think he put like frozen cherries and cacao chips in there, which is like, they came out. Looks really
I read his book on superfoods, and I made a list of all the superfoods and started going through the list, getting each item, and I've gotten some crazy stuff, and it's turned out to be great. I mean, when I finish one, then I'll get the next thing on the list. So right now I'm halfway through a bin of royal jelly. It's from bees, and they've done studies on it. They've given it to Olympic athletes. They perform better, strength. I've got, I just finished a jar of spirulina.
Spirulina.
Maca powder.
My friends are all into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. Yeah. Put that in the smoothies.
I know that, like, Alison, what you get to do on a regular basis is pretty cool. Like with your, what was it that can you just tell us a little bit about what you get to do?
Yeah,
the highlighted version.
Basically I work with floral designers in one of the top LA florists. And it's just really awesome to work for something like that. We basically cater to celebrities.
Yeah. Do you ever make do you guys do edible arrangements? I know that's probably a hard question. I love it when people get sent chocolates and fruit things. Yeah.
We did do this crazy pig vase arrangement for someone that was like 1 year old. It was for her first arrangement or whatever.
Yeah.
And we sent her this pig vase with flowers.
It was made out of flowers, but it was in the shape of a pig face.
Yeah, so the pig vase was an actual vase, but we just put flowers in it and on it, kind of draped over it. Actually, I have a picture.
That's cool because actually earlier this year, I had an opportunity on New Year's to go to the Rose Parade. And, I mean, flower arrangements are always like, they can make a room look really inviting, and they can do different things. You notice them; they add to the atmosphere for sure. But it's like when you literally the floats go by, and you're like, I can smell them because there's literally thousands of roses and plants and all seeds and.
Was it awesome?
It was incredible. Like you watch it on TV, and you're like, whatever. Like they tell. You hear Meredith. What's her name? Meredith Vieira or Katie Couric or Matt. What's his face that on the network CBS or ABC that tell you the facts about this float. There's so many thousands of this and that, and you're like, cool, and it weighs this much, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But like to see these monstrosities drive by you, and like people are sitting in these things, like they're like feats, like that they're constructed this way, and they're made of all organic materials.
But you didn't just go to the Rose Bowl. You had special
You were like
hook-up,
I did get
VIP.
I got front row seats right by the turn that they make right behind the studio on TV.
Your friend was your friend doing the cameras?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had the Wells Fargo shot. So if you saw Wells Fargo building, I should clarify. Because I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about. But on top of that building, there's one camera that, as they make the turn, it's a higher shot as they're coming straight on. So that was one of the main.
What were some of the benefits of the special seating you got?
Well, I got premier parking, so I only had to walk like a few blocks to my spot, or to where I was seated. And front row, like no one was in front of me, so I got to see all the floats that were right there. And because I was with a camera guy, I got to eat breakfast for free. Breakfast and lunch was provided for the crew and everything, so I got to eat and hang out with a lot of the production.
So for people not familiar with this, where is the Rose Bowl?
The Rose Bowl is different. The Rose Parade is what I went to.
Okay.
So the Rose Parade is in downtown Pasadena.
Okay. And when you say you were front row at the parade.
Yeah, so the street, I forget the street name that it's on. Because they have bleachers that they cut off, they block off part of the downtown, and there's just bleachers set up, and people were camped out. It literally looked like post-apocalyptic situation because there's people camped out. There's ping pong tables on the sidewalks. Like people have spent days.
Is this at all related to the Rose Bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the parade prior to the game.
Did you go to the Rose Bowl?
No. I forget what. is the Rose. I think Rose is like the championship game.
So why do you need special seats? Don't people
You have to
just
buy
sit on the
tickets.
sidewalk?
You have to buy tickets. Well, there's areas that people can, but this was like, because this was close to the studio. This is like because it's the coveted spot. They charge you. There's security. You
It'd
have
be
to pass
like at
security.
it'd be like at the Academy Awards, how there are lots of fans, but how do you even get to that? You can't just walk up and sit down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's like you have to have assigned seating to sit in that area. There's other spots where people camp out, like we walked by where they have their own chairs and they're standing, but like it's crowded and first come first served. And but yeah, it was cool. But like as you're walking up, you're like, wow, I can smell the roses already. This is great. Wake
By
up
the
and
way,
smell the roses.
this is the
Yeah,
same
right.
place we were at for the Academy Awards when they were setting up. And remember, we saw that YouTube celebrity,
Yes.
Casey.
Yeah.
I forgot how you say his last name.
Yeah, I don't know his last name either.
Yeah,
The vlogger guy.
yeah.
He's cool.
He was
vlogger.
cool.
I love his
He
stuff.
waved to us.
He did wave to us. It was like
Yeah.
he knew us because
Yeah.
we weren't even like we didn't say his name. We were like, hey, that's that one guy, and it was like
Maybe he likes our podcast.
maybe he'll start listening. That'd be cool.
Didn't you see multiple celebrities that day, or was it just that guy? I feel like
Kyle probably did. He's in the
I
know.
feel like
I wouldn't
you-
know.
I feel like
Saw
there was
the one
something
that I
else that week
remember.
or something.
Yeah.
Maybe people thought we were celebrities.
I mean,
Kyle
we
has
did
that look though.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Yes,
You know.
and the talent.
Sure. You guys
Didn't
are
one of
full of
who came to your Republic of Pie show one time?
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yes,
The guy that
of course.
Lex Luthor on Smallville.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
used to
pretty
like.
cool.
You posted the picture on Instagram.
And Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Pretty
that.
cool.
He liked your music, huh?
He was on his first date with that lady that he was with. It was really cool.
And
It was
you
like-
played the music live
I
on their
serenaded
first
them.
date.
For his date.
for his first date. And he did make a point to tell me he really enjoyed it. Like, I was listening, it was really good. I'm like, that was really nice of you to say, even if you're lying. I
And
appreciate
you're
you
like,
saying that.
I really do like your show too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I said, because he has a beard and hair now. In the show, he's like Luthor, so he's no beard, no hair on, like there's no hair on his face. And so it's like, dude, you look good either way. He's like, I appreciate you saying that.
Wait,
I'm like,
what's
well,
the
I'm
name of
not
the show?
lying.
Smallville.
Mhm.
Is that the show where all the superheroes are way younger?
No, it's the prequel to Superman.
Yeah.
It's like where he lives is Smallville, where Superman grows up in Kansas is Smallville. And so it's all of his growing up, being a teenager, dealing with. So there's Lana that happens before Lois, and his like triangle of love.
So how old are they in this show?
It's, high school students, so like 17.
And is Superman like Superman?
Yeah.
So he can turn into Superman and
Well, he still has all his powers. He's just not. He doesn't have a suit.
he doesn't change into another outfit.
Because he's still trying to like figure out. That's the whole thing. He's trying to figure out where he fits in the world and how to handle saving the world.
I don't think he fits in the world. Does he? How do you fit in the world as a superhero?
That is what Marvel and DC
Okay,
were
let's
trying
think
to
about this.
continuously make money off of,
No,
right?
let's
That's
think
the
about
movie
this.
plot.
If you have a superpower, okay, whatever it is, any supernatural thing, how do you fit in the world?
That's true.
Well, I think first of all,
You can't be
step back.
of this world.
we'll take a step back. Let's take a step out of it for a minute. Like, I don't think anyone should really fit in. Like, that's my personal view. I think we are all uniquely created and designed for a specific purpose. And so your walk, your daily life, your daily routine, your goals, what your dreams are, is really different from mine.
We overlap a couple hours a week,
We do, but at the same
and that's it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we lead lives that are, you and I, different, but at the same time, like, there's some things that are the same as well, Jeff and I as men, but for Alison, there's things with you and other women that are similar, but we're all unique. And so for me to negate or discount what you do, and vice versa for myself. But all that to say, I don't think we should all necessarily fit in and stay below the fray. I think we should all be living in such a way that it's undeniable, or that it's kind of countercultural in a sense of like, wow, that was kind of out of the norm. What's that guy all about? You know, I think we should all be at that level instead
But
of
think
being
about like a superhero, and I agree with
yeah,
you.
but yeah, as
But
it
think about a
relates-
superhero or doing a miracle, okay? Yeah,
Right.
water into wine, whatever. you do some sort of miraculous thing. That is so outside of the norm
Right.
of people's lives. Like, their whole foundation and thought process of how to, like, we watch these TV shows and it's fun or whatever, whoever watches TV, but I don't watch TV, but I mean, think about it, like a superhero, like if you literally saw a superhero, the reactions that people have in a movie, I mean, if I saw a guy flying through here or, whatever, lifting a bus up and throwing it into a building, I think my reaction would be pretty severe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's this TV show you're talking about where these guys go to high school with this kid. Do they know that he has these superheroes?
He keeps it under wraps.
He keeps it under wraps because if they knew he had this superhero, he's concerned what they would think of him.
Yeah, how they would respond, how he couldn't handle the celebrity, to have celebrity, and you can't even function as a person in our society like you would want to. You can't go to the store and get your.
True.
You have to get someone to get it for you, and once you reach a certain, I wouldn't know personally, but they can't. Mobs would happen. Their safety would be in question. So like.
Can you imagine if Justin Bieber went to Starbucks to get a latte?
Gosh,
It'd be madness.
Those poor baristas.
Or
trying to do their job.
Say Lady Gaga went in and said, "Yeah, I'd like a." People know her, right? She has 60 million followers on Twitter. That's pretty good.
I feel like
she's in the top 5 on Twitter.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Yeah. Just to think about how normalcy for them is not normal. But yeah, you're right. People's reactions affect how you fit in the world. But yeah, you probably see some of that with working in the. I don't know, getting into that person's house to put their flowers, or the people that do that, not you specifically, but your company has to deal with the processes and the protocols for. When you're making this person's arrangements or you're setting these up, you have to do this certain amounts of things, and you have to go this certain way because.
Do the celebrities ever make contact with your company, or is it always an assistant?
Sometimes, on very rare occasions, a few days ago, we had someone call, and it wasn't exactly an assistant, it was a representative of the royal family who was calling for the man that runs our company, because apparently they wanted to schedule a lunch or something that weekend. So you have those cases, but have I personally...
Wait, now when you say royal family, let's be clear. You're talking about what? You're talking about in England, the king, the queen?
Prince William.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. That it was portrayed to me as the Duchess, which I am aware is
That's pretty big time.
Duchess of
Yeah, I
Cambridge.
think that's on a level that me and my sneakers and my jeans aren't really at right now.
But no, it's so it's. But have I personally spoken with any celebrity on a minor scale? Yes, a few, but not any.
It's all the
severe
assistants.
A-listers.
It's all the
yeah.
assistants. So what that shows is what you were saying, Kyle, about how they have to forego a sense of normalcy in life. Not that we want to be normal, but functioning daily, going to the grocery, getting a coffee.
Humanity, yeah.
Right? Being able to freely walk down the sidewalk, go to a restaurant. You have to give that up to have a certain amount of fame and celebrity status,
Yeah.
And some of them have had enough of it. I saw an article the other day where Justin Bieber does these events where they have this VIP special thing where you can meet and greet with Justin, and he canceled that. It's just too much. It's just,
I feel like sometimes we lift these people up that are just people. They're just like you and me, and we lift them up to be almost godlike, and we treat them as such. And so we create an outcast environment for them by revering them. When in a sense they're just like you and me, and they have exceptional talent in a lot of cases, or they're just super blessed in the fact that they've reached that status.
Well, I think it's popularity, like a high school, where people want to be with the cool kids, and they want to be a celebrity because they're cool, fame, whatever, but they don't really understand what they're wanting.
Right. What it entails. But I think that, like, just like with what she was saying about we put them up to that level, but then it's kind of like a double-edged sword of, like, you put them up to that level, but, like, when they make a mistake, you treat them like that's all well and good if you, for their sake, like, oh, you give them notoriety, you give them, like, you know, do notice, but, like, when they mess up, like, I can't believe, like, really? I mean, they use the restroom just like you. They have to eat just like, I mean, they're humans too. Like, we expect them to operate in all areas perfect. And when they mess up, or like even if...
So right now you can access this podcast on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah.
If you go to SoundCloud, how would you access this?
You could search for Guru, Gooroo.
Okay. And then what about...
And there's, depending on our topics, I usually put tags related to...
And then what about iTunes?
iTunes, I'm still waiting on the confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've set up the podcast.
Now, SoundCloud, is it possible to download SoundCloud where you could be offline and listen to them, like on iTunes? You can download it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's cool.
And is that an app also?
I think, yeah, SoundCloud has an app as well.
And you're growing right now, which is amazing.
It's fun.
You have subscribers.
Yeah. But if he listens. But yeah, I think that... yeah, it's been fun here at the Lowe's. Lowe's? Is that how you say it? Because I feel like I'm saying the hardware store.
No, it's Lowe's.
It is?
Yeah, it's Lowe's. How
L-O-E-W-S.
I still think it's Lowe's. I mean, what else would it be?
I get you.
Lowe's?
The mezzanine level.
What does mezzanine mean?
It means like the courtyard area, like mezzanine, like a,
Oh yeah,
like a open.
like a gazebo.
I don't know if that's the same, but like, I mean, we can look at the etymology of mezzanine and where it originated, but that's typically like the base floor where all of like that social space exists.
So there's a picture here on the far right of this food photography award. And it looks like a husband and wife. They're on a farm. There's chickens. The guy's holding a chicken.
A gigantic chicken.
It's huge. It's black and white. It looks really pretty. A sweet little chicken. And he has a pretty hardcore beard going that looks like he lives on a farm. I mean, that's a whole nother level of beard. And he has on, what do you call those hats?
It's misleading because if you look behind him, his fence is like not that legit for a farmer.
What is his hat?
It's like a trucker hat.
Yeah, and she has on like the yeah.
They're hip. They are.
They have on blue jeans, and it makes me really think about like buying food locally, organic. You know, California has a lot of around the LA area, Santa Monica. You know, there's a lot of areas where. By the way, if anyone can hear other people talking, it's because there's cameras around us, there's interviews going on, there's a lot of action going on. People have taken our picture, it's kind of wild. There's a lot of like culture here in LA for buying locally. Produce, meat, and you know, buying locally, it is more expensive, but there's other benefits. You know, one, you have the health benefit of, you know, you don't have the long process of like being in the trucks and all the chemicals and all the stuff, because when you're not buying locally, they have to ship it from somewhere. So even if it's grown organically, once it's pulled from the tree, it's sprayed to maintain the status it's in. They're loaded on trucks, they're shipped. It's days before you get it. Whereas this locally grown, it comes straight from their farm locally. Also, financially, you're putting money back into your local economy, and it really helps with the economy where you live. More money is in the economy where you live, and there's a lot of benefits to that. And hopefully, local produce and meat and things, bread, will become more widely done, you know, around the world in America. It's just not really big right now. You know.
Yeah, I have a friend back when I live in Oklahoma. I have a friend that's their family does all that. They have a local cheese guy that they go to get cheese, a local milk person, and milk and cheese come from the same place actually. But the eggs and all this stuff, like they get those things as local as possible, and they do pay more. But it's like one of those things of the trade-off because there have been some health things that they didn't know they were dealing with when they changed their diet that went away. Some issues that they didn't really take as issues, like some skin, like a little bit of eczema thing, and behavioral changes on some of the children because there's no like refined sugar in their diet now, but they don't miss it. But there's like developmental things that with their young kids that they're starting to notice now because they're taking those steps.
Okay, so there's been a lot of studies done that show that white sugar is as addicting as crack cocaine. Okay, I've been addicted to white sugar my whole life, and over the past probably year and a half to 2 years, I have completely gotten off white sugar. I have no white sugar in my diet now. I've created some recipes and things that make desserts and stuff like that. And I used to, especially at night, I would want this bag of candy. And now I don't. I finish dinner and it's weird. I brush my teeth and I'm done. And it's like, I've never liked that before. Have you had anything like that?
Yeah, I've had like when I was mentioning ice cream earlier as my food, I could do that, but like because there was a time in my life whenever I did deal with food issues. I used food as a filler to try to fill voids that were not physical, like more like mental and emotional things that made me feel good. And then as I grew up and as my mind started to be renewed and started to I started to grow and mature, that I started depending less on that, but at the same time being aware of what food was coming into my body, what it was doing to me. And so now I don't crave it. I used to crave it. And now like I can't say that I don't have white sugar in my diet. I still have some refined sugar every now and then because if someone's got a birthday party, I do partake as part of the celebration.
And you get stuff at work too.
Yeah, there's things like that I take, but the portion control at that point for me. But at the same time, I with ice cream, I don't have that need to fit. So I said ice cream because I can, but I don't really. The last time I had ice cream, I think I had one a couple weeks ago.
What about when you do your lattes and stuff? Do you get the pumps?
If I get a latte, like I had one today, I usually just go whole milk and then that's all I put in there is just coffee with that. Or like maybe a little bit of half and half, but I'm always black coffee. That's usually my like 90 to 95% of the time. Like I rarely have, I'll do a latte if it's like, I didn't really have a large breakfast. Like I'll put the milk in there just to kind of like, because coffee can really like get my system going.
Yeah.
And so I put the milk to kind of calm down the function of the coffee bean in my system.
So what's your story with white sugar, Alison?
I usually, I don't really have it that much, but if it's like in something that is
But did you used to? What's the story?
Yeah, I used to.
So what happened?
Like Kyle, I had some food issues, like growing up and stuff, and I didn't feel like I was enough as a person in my identity, so I had it wrapped up in what I looked like and how much I weighed. So I would control what I ate, and then I would like usually binge after a few days on like dessert stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was like literally starving my body.
Yeah.
So naturally you're gonna want like really sweet things.
Yeah.
And I was set free from that, like you said, by renewing the mind and truth, the truth about who I was as a person and my identity. And so, I don't really even think about it that much anymore. It's just like it doesn't.
Exactly.
But if it's in something, like you said, a birthday party, here and there I'll partake. But it's not like a driving force like it was,
Did you think you were addicted?
I was addicted to the pattern of eating, not necessarily
Were you
the
addicted
white
to
sugar.
white sugar?
I think it was the sugar. Because
Me
it would
too.
be like I would eat Mexican food and be like, oh, it would trigger something in my brain of like I've eaten this savory thing, and now like I've got to top it off with something sweet.
Yeah, maybe I was addicted then too, because I would get
Yeah.
like that too. I would
Like a
eat
trigger in my
something
head.
like dinner and naturally want dessert.
But see, in our culture, if someone says they're addicted to crack, there's a certain, or heroin, there's a certain mindset, right? Alcohol addiction, okay? There's a certain way people view that. If you say you're addicted to white sugar, people kind of laugh and think it's funny. But here's what they don't think is funny: diabetes, losing a leg, having your toes cut off because you have severe diabetes, being paralyzed, being put in a wheelchair. You know, I've
Having
volunteered.
a permanent insulin pump in your body.
Yeah, I volunteered at places where I would visit, and there would be people that had diabetes where they had to have limbs removed. Okay, let me tell you, that's white sugar, people. Okay, that's white sugar. You think it's not serious because eating a bin of, a bag of candy or a bin of ice cream doesn't sound like, doing a line of crack, but down the road, years and years of that, of having bags of candy every night and desserts and stuff, you start to be really affected. I mean, I remember going to, I heard stand up live with Damon Wayans. He's the buff guy, one of the brothers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was talking about how he had a certain, I think it was type 2 diabetes, and
Oh wow.
and he said, he has to eat so clean. He's scared he's gonna lose a leg or a foot, and it's just, I think because our culture doesn't view the severity, because sticking a needle in your arm is different than sticking a piece of cake in your body. But addiction, whatever you're addicted to, if you do anything in excess, you're gonna suffer the consequences. If you have a glass of wine a night, it's fine. If you have 2 bottles, you're gonna suffer the consequences in your kidneys.
Well, it's even like there was a young, because just even how to protect yourself, because like you hear studies about like what your body's doing whenever you have sugar, and how like it has to work. Other things are left to be so that can be handled by your body, and it kind of puts you in this flux of like you're not performing at your highest. But like there was this guy when I lived back in Oklahoma, this athlete, college athlete, fit basketball player, and seriously like 6'4", and he looked like he could eat a few cheeseburgers. Like he looked a little bit on the thin side. He was fit, and he got sick and ended up in the emergency room, and like had diabetes. Like that's what he ended up. That was the cause of it. And so I was discussing like how could that happen? And one of my friends, that she's actually part of the I'm saying that wrong. It's not natal, neonatal, like
Is
the
it
babies.
the NICU, the NIC?
Yes. Yeah. She handles the babies, newborns, but like the ones that need special care. And how, so she's in the medical field, and how like there's some discussion about the fact that type 1 they think is a virus that attacks the pancreas, instead of it being like a because this guy works out all the time. He eats right. He's not binging like I would have done, and yet this virus could have attacked his pancreas and caused type 1. And I'm thinking, well, okay, so that's fine. So it wasn't his diet necessarily that caused him to become a diabetic. Was it that what he was putting in wasn't necessarily the best thing, so that his pancreas could have been defending off that virus?
I mean, we really,
something's not.
Yeah, the story's not adding up. You really wonder, like, what was his diet, though? Not just in the last year, though. The last 10 years.
True, that's a good point. He could have been not necessarily putting the good stuff.
Right. I mean, were his parents giving him a piece of pie every night for dessert after dinner? Was he having Coke a couple times a day, soda with his meals?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of factors that it may seem like, I have salads, I eat sandwiches.
Or he looks on the outside, it looks like
it looks like it's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, there's people that are totally ripped and buff that have heart attacks. I mean, and the reason they do is not because they're not in shape physically. It's because of their diet and what they eat. And you know, people don't really realize what healthy diet is anymore, you know? I mean,
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting how,
Yeah.
because now I don't even, I mean, I know that sugar's bad. I don't view it, like, I don't feel guilty now when I have it. But I know how to, like, maintain and keep it at a
listen,
at a
if you
healthy.
smoke a cigar when you graduate from college, it's not a big deal. If you smoke them every night, it's
Yeah.
going to be an issue, you know?
But,
So,
cool.
all right.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it's been a good
Yeah,
talk.
glad we can have Allison today.
Yeah, it was great having
You
Allison. Good to
guys.
have
You guys are awesome.
It was a lot of fun. We're gonna get off of here.
Yeah, it looks like this event's winding down anyway.
Yeah, it's calming down. And so I'm gonna enjoy some weather walking back to the car. It's gonna be great. It's great out here in Hollywood.
All
Thank
right.
you guys
well,
for
we will
tuning
see
in.
everyone next week
Yeah.
on Guru.
All right. All right. Have a good weekend.